Greetings everyone. Today our topic is related to active and passive voice. While changing from active to passive voice, you should know the few rules before initiating or changing active sentences into passive sentences. The initial thing is to identify the SVO subject verb object in the active sentence while changing it into passive voice. So in the active sentence, as you can see that she is writing a letter, how we can change it? The object will come first. A letter is being written by her, because we need to add and we need to change the main verb and the auxiliary verb or the linking verb with the main verb while changing into the passive voice. There are a few rules. In the first one, you can see that the most important thing is to identify the subject, verb, and object, which is SVO, and in the syntax. So, and in after interchanging the object and subject with each other, then we can change active into passive voice easily. And the third rule, you can see that in passive voice, sometimes the subject is not used because the subject in passive voice can be omitted if the sentence give us the full or enough meaning. For example, you can see in this example, milk is sold in liters, so we don't need to so we don't need to mention the subject while changing into passive voice. According to the rule fourth, change the base verb in active sentence into the past participle, that is the third form in a passive sentence, and sometimes it can be preceded by addition of the with, by, or to, or etc. The pronouns will change in the following manner while changing active sentences into passive voice. And you can see that I can be changed into me, we can be changed into us, he can be changed into him, she into her, they into them, you and it will remain the same. According to the sixth rule, for the rule for changing auxiliary verb is, am, are, was, etc. in the passive voice are different for each sentence, and we will change it accordingly. In this slide, we can see we have the tenses, we have the active voice, we have the passive voice, but only the formulas are written over here. In the next slide, we will see the examples clearly according to the each tense. In the simple present tense, we can see that in active voice, if we have write or writes, verb first form, either it can be with s or without, or s, or it can be with es. In the passive voice, while changing, we need to add am, is, are, and addition of written or third form of the verb is present. And in the simple past, we can see we have the second form of the verb, which is wrote. While changing into passive voice, we have was, were in addition with written, which is the third form of the verb. Similarly, in the simple future tense, we can see we have will, shall, write in the active voice. Write is the first form of the verb, and changing into passive voice, we have will, shall, be, written, addition of be, is, there with written, while changing the simple future into passive voice. Moving ahead with present continuous tense, we have am, is, are, writing. So verb is in ing state. While changing into passive voice, we have am, is, are being written. So being is being added in the passive voice. In the past continuous tense, we have was, were, writing. Again, we have ing form of the verb. While changing into passive voice, we need to add being, and the main verb will be changed into written, which is the past participle form or third form of the verb. So addition was, were, being, written. In the future perfect, we can see we have has, have, written, third form of the verb. While changing into passive voice, we have has, have, been, written. And moving towards the past perfect, we can see we have had, written, and changing into passive voice, we have had, been, written. In the future perfect, you can see we have will, shall, have, written, and in changing into passive, will, shall, have, been, written. Addition of been is here. So you can see in the past perfect in active and passive voice, and in the future perfect in active and passive voice, we just need to add been in both of the tenses. Now in this slide we have the full-fledged examples of active and passive voice according to the each tense. Over here we can see that when the subject was not needed, so we have omitted in the passive voice column. So in the simple present we have active voice, he delivers the letters, and in the passive voice the letters are delivered. We can write by him, but it's up to you if it is giving the full meaning, so you can omit the subject. In the simple past you have he delivered the letters were delivered. In the future simple you can see he will deliver the letters, but in the passive voice you can see that the letters will be delivered. In the present continuous tense, in the active sentence, we have he is delivering the letters. While changing it into passive voice, the letters are being delivered. Over here, we can see that the letters, the subject is, the object becomes the subject into the passive voice, is delivering will be changed into are being delivered. Why? Because the letters, we have addition of s over here, so it's plural. That's why we need to add are with being delivered. In the past continuous tense, we can see that he was delivering the letters, so the letters were being delivered. Why? Because letters S, so we need to add were, and addition of being is here because it is past continuous tense. In this example, you can see that he is going to deliver the letters, and in the passive voice, the letters are going to be delivered. So addition of be is here after to in this sentence. In the present perfect tense, you can see that he has delivered the letters, and changing it into passive voice, the letters have been delivered. So over here we can see that addition of have been is here before delivered. In the past perfect, we can see that he had delivered the letters in active voice while changing into passive. So the letters will come first. The letters had been delivered. Why addition of had is there? Because it's a perfect tense. It's a past perfect. So over here we can see that in infinitive active voice, you can see that in example he has to deliver the letters, and while changing it to passive voice we have the letters have to be delivered. In the models in active voice you can see he must is the model verb, he must deliver the letters. While changing into passive voice we have the letters must be delivered. So there are few rules or tenses where you cannot change active into passive voice. Over here you can see that present indefinite will be changed into present continuous, but present continuous will not be changed, but after the helping verb being will be added. So there is a rule that you need to add being before, or you can say that after the helping verb being will be added. So present perfect will be changed into present perfect continuous, but the present perfect continuous will not be changed into passive voice. In the past, indefinite will be changed into past continuous. Past continuous will not be changed, but there is a condition after the helping verb being will be added. Past perfect will be changed into past perfect continuous, but the past perfect continuous will not be changed. In the future indefinite, we can see that future indefinite will be changed into future continuous, but the future continuous will not be changed, and future perfect will be changed into future perfect continuous, but the future perfect continuous will not be changed into passive voice. So on all these columns, you can see that all these three tenses cannot be changed into passive voice. In addition to this future continuous will not be changed into passive voice as well. So over here we can see that we have the following tenses which cannot be changed into passive voice. In the first we have present perfect continuous tense, then we have the past perfect continuous tense, then we have future perfect continuous tense. Along with that we have future perfect continuous tense as well, where all these tenses cannot be changed into passive voice while changing them into from active into passive voice or sentences. So this in this last slide, you can see that we have tenses, we have active, and then we have the passive voice of all these tenses, and you can see how the subjects can become the object, and object has become into or changed into the subject in the passive voice. How we can add rights will be change into is written, because the simple present, the present continuous is writing, will be changed into is being written. Then the simple past, how the main verb is being changed from a wrote with addition of was written by Emma. Then over here you can see in the past continuous tense, Emma was writing a letter. Then we have a letter was being written by Emma. Then the present perfect, we can see that Emma has written a letter and a letter has been written by Emma. So addition of been is there, because in the first slide we know that after changing the active into passive voice, object becomes subject, subject becomes object with addition of by is there, but we can change by into being been accordingly with the and change after observing the tense of the sentence. So in the past perfect, you can see we have had written. While changing into the passive, we need to change had been written. So over here in the future simple, will write will be changed into will be written. Future going to be, going to is going to write, is going to be written. Over here we have already done one example in the previous slides. So in the modal verb must write, must be written. So modal perfect should have written, a letter should have been written by Emma. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Don't forget to subscribe the YouTube channel for more updates. Thank you.